And we begin this edition with the latest that you're tracking on Afghanistan-Pakistan clashes. The escalating conflict between the two countries has now entered a dangerous new phase. A fragile 48-hour ceasefire is now under threat following inflammatory claims made by Pakistan Defence Minister Khawaja Asif, which comes as former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan offered to mediate to secure peace in the region. In fact, this is in an interview to Pakistani news outlet WION News. The country's Defence Minister Khawaja Asif has cast doubts that the ceasefire with Afghanistan will hold, accusing the Taliban government of fighting a proxy war for New Delhi. Khawaja Asif pointed to the recent 6-day visit by Taliban Foreign Minister Amir Khan Muttaqi to India, hinting at ulterior plans despite the trip being officially centered on trade and bilateral relations. Adding another layer to this volatile situation, former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has now offered to personally mediate the ongoing conflict, saying that he is willing to go and convince the Taliban to bring peace if released on parole. Pakistan's military actions on Afghanistan has drawn sharp condemnation, with former Afghanistan President Hamid Karzai having slammed Pakistan for conducting the recent airstrikes on Kabul and Paktika, terming the action a clear violation of international rules and an act of aggression. Karzai even urged Pakistan to review its misguided and harmful policies and engage with Kabul on the basis of friendly and civilized ties, thereby reinforcing the Afghan view that Pakistan's actions are unwarranted and provocative. Karzai's statement also comes following multiple explosions in Kabul that residents and observers fear were the result of unprovoked cross-border airstrikes. And joining us on the broadcast is strategic affairs expert Brahma Chelani. He's a professor of strategic studies at Center for Policy Research. Mr. Chelani, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Now, this is the worst conflict, so as to say, between Pakistan and Afghanistan since 2021. Do you think a temporary 48-hour ceasefire will even hold, given that Pakistani Minister Khawaja Asif himself has cast aspersions on the ceasefire?
The onus is on Pakistan because Pakistan initiated the hostilities by carrying out airstrikes in Kabul and elsewhere in Afghanistan while the Afghan foreign minister was visiting India. So the intent was very clear. The provocations and the hostilities were initiated by Pakistan, and therefore whether this truce holds will very much depend on Pakistan. We have to keep in mind that Asif Munir, Pakistan's self-styled field marshal, and the military-backed Prime Minister Sharif were riding high. They thought they had wind in their sails. They had been quoting Trump. They had signed this major cryptocurrency deal with the Trump family control, World Liberty Financial. They thought that they had the regional security secured. They also thought that their domestic unrest could be easily contained. Now, on both fronts, internal and external, Pakistan is facing a very dangerous situation. The domestic unrest, which began in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir and now has spread to the streets of Lahore and other places, clearly underscores the fact that the domestic instability coupled with economic instability threatens the very future of Pakistan. To make matters worse, now Pakistan is waging war against its own one-time surrogate, the Afghan Taliban.
Right. Right. Mr. Chelani, we'll come to the domestic unrest in Pakistan in just a bit, but rightly put that the onus is on Pakistan when it comes to the ceasefire with Afghanistan. What role do you think Saudi Arabia and Qatar can actually play in future mediation as well between the warring sides? And also, what do you make of Imran Khan's offer to broker that peace between Afghanistan and Pakistan?
Well, Imran Khan's offer is not a serious offer because he's been jailed by the military, and therefore he is offering mediation as a ruse to come out from the prison. But as far as Qatar and Saudi Arabia are concerned, we should not forget that these two countries are geopolitical rivals. They don't see eye to eye even on Middle East security matters, but they compete between themselves when it comes to finding ways to broker a ceasefire somewhere else, or mediate in a conflict between two parties elsewhere. Both compete to serve as go-betweens or mediators or brokers. And in the Afghan-Pakistan conflict, both sides sought to play a role. What their exact contribution was to the 48 ceasefire, nobody knows.
Right.
But certainly both Saudi Arabia and Qatar are quite eager to play the role of a mediator or a broker in a conflict elsewhere.
Right. Mr. Chalani, going back to the statements that came in from the Pakistani minister, Khawaja Asif also claims that Afghanistan is fighting India's proxy war against Pakistan. Do you think this even warrants a response from the Indian government?
I don't think so, because why respond to such nonsense? Because the man is accustomed to speaking a lot of rubbish. And the fact is that while the Afghan foreign minister was on a visit to India, his very visit incensed Rawalpindi in Islamabad, both the military and the civilian government, to the extent that they launched airstrikes on Afghanistan. And they did not factor in that the Afghan Taliban would respond fiercely with its own reprisals against Pakistan. They thought that the Afghan Taliban will take it lying down. After all, the Afghan Taliban doesn't have any kind of credible air capability. But they forgot that the Taliban is a battle-hardened force. It is a force that forced the US military to quit Afghanistan after 20 years of war, while the Pakistan military has been fattened through corruption by stealing people's money. As far as land-based capability is concerned, the Taliban has shown through its audacious reprisals that it can really hit back, and hit back hard against Pakistan.
Yes. Yes, and Mr. Chalani, I actually put that question because it came from a government representative. In your view, is this ceasefire an attempt also to deflect attention from General Asim Munir, who's facing multiple challenges, including a feud within the Pakistani establishment, as well as the unrest, the uprising that we are seeing in Balochistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, among other provinces?
Asim Munir has been riding high. Which is the reason why he has styled himself as a field marshal. But now Pakistan is on the boil internally. It began with Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. We have seen how in Punjab itself, because Punjab is the base of the Pakistan army and the Pakistan establishment, but right in the heart of Pakistani Punjab, in the area of Lahore and its suburbs, the Pakistani state has faced a challenge to its authority. And the Pakistani security forces have had to open fire on unarmed demonstrators, killing a number of them. According to some, they killed as many as 4 dozen or more demonstrators. Whatever the figure may be, the fact is that they opened fire on their own people in a major way. And in other parts of Pakistan, that is in the non-Punjab territories of Pakistan, there is already long-standing unrest, discontent, and even insurgency, for example, in Balochistan. So all across Pakistan, the Pakistani state is facing unrest or discontent. And now it also has to face the challenge from Afghan Taliban, which was once Pakistan's proxy force, but today that very Taliban is challenging Pakistan.
Yes. Mr. Chalani, point taken, and of course it remains to be seen whether the ceasefire will hold or not. Also needless to say that the visit by the Afghanistani minister has definitely hurt Pakistan. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast.